Watch out for this mistake when you're learning NLP. Stay tuned. This is Damon Cart from NLP Gym. What is the NLP Trap? If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. The NLP Trap is basically focusing only on NLP and only looking at NLP to find answers and to solve problems. The paradox to this is if you really want to get good at NLP, learn it, use and take what is useful, and then move on to other disciplines using NLP to learn other disciplines. And the strange thing is that your NLP skills will get even better. So for the opening of every module, I feel the need to give some sort of inspirational speech so that I can motivate you to be excited and enthusiastic about learning NLP for the rest of the weekend. Cool, right? What if I told you that you should learn a lot of other stuff besides NLP? Great way to start off the weekend, huh? Well, when you're learning any discipline, and NLP is a great discipline to learn in order to evolve. And I found that it's been one of the greatest things that I've learned, or discipline that I've taken on in order to learn and to evolve, learn other disciplines and evolve myself as a person. Yoga has been another one. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that there's more to learn beyond NLP. And on the journey of evolving yourself, on the journey of learning NLP, hopefully you come to a point, or hopefully you realize that there's so much more than NLP. And in realizing that and understanding that, NLP will become much easier to learn and it becomes much more useful. So I'm not advocating that you not learn NLP. That would be really strange of me to be teaching a class where I tell you not to learn NLP. And when I think for myself, I got kind of caught in, well, this is not the way. Like NLP has never been a religion for me, but I thought that I could sort of pass everything through NLP, and NLP would make me better at anything that I wanted to do. And in a sense that's true, and in a sense that's not true. And the sense that it's true is that through this NLP journey for me, I've discovered that NLP is not all that it is. And I think NLP, strangely enough, helped me understand that. And how I understood this was, I was in a training a few weeks ago in San Diego, and I met someone whose skills exceeded mine. And what I had to understand very quickly is that's because he didn't stay with just NLP. He evolved beyond it. And it just shined a light on my shadow. My shadow being that whenever I couldn't do something that I wanted, or couldn't achieve something that I wanted, or I was having a block or something like that, I delved back into NLP to try to figure that out and solve that problem. About 70 to 80% of the time, it actually worked. And that's because this technology is quite amazing. But 20 to 30% of the time, it wasn't working. And what I realized is that because you have to get out of NLP, you have to then learn other disciplines. And what that does is it will reflect back on NLP, what's missing and what's great about it. And it'll highlight what is most useful for you. It can be quite overwhelming. And I think on the first module that we did, I think people were overwhelmed. And I was practicing with a friend of mine who, she has no NLP training. And I purposefully picked her to practice with because I wanted someone who was not going to go along with everything that I was telling her to do, because she goes, oh, I know what he's doing. He's looking for my positive intent, or he's anchoring me. I need to go with that. I wanted someone who was completely oblivious to NLP technology to work with me, so that she came in like a blank canvas. She came in free of any of the jargon and the processes and the presuppositions or anything like that. And a really strange thing happened. She was so hard to work with, and not for the reasons that you would think someone would be hard to work with. She was hard to work with because the first thing she asked me when I said, I want you to come over and I want to practice NLP with you to prepare for this training. And she says, what homework do I need to do? And I was like, no, I don't want you to do any homework. I don't want you to go read up on NLP. I want you raw. I want you where you're not going along with what I'm telling you to do. I want you to be completely free of this so that it's a true test of my ability to be able to work with you. And I didn't go into that much explanation. I said, no, just don't do any homework, just show up. So she shows up, and I started doing a process. And she was having a lot of trouble with it, and I'm thinking, okay, use my flexibility, flex around this, move around it. And she's still struggling, and then I realized what it was. And it linked back to her asking me if there was any homework to do. She went into total student mode in the sense of public school student mode, and she was really concerned about whether or not she was doing it right. And I was like, no. It's more an issue of whether or not I'm doing it right. You just be who you are. And finally, she let her guard down and was just doing it like a normal person would, not doing it thinking, what does Damon want me to do? And when that happened, we got through the process and it worked. And she even texted me the next day and said, I didn't really buy it even after you did the process, but now I keep firing this anchor on my arm and it's working. And I was like, well, yeah, of course it does. This stuff is amazing. It really works. But I think that happens in NLP trainings. I think people come in and they start saying, they go into that student mode and they want to please the teacher, and that can come out in many different ways. You might be showing up here saying, I want to be able to get this stuff because I want to understand what Damon's doing, and I want it to validate that we're in this together, right? I'm teaching you, you're learning, and if you break down and you're not learning, then somehow you're breaking rapport with me, or you're not doing what I want you to do. And so what I'm going to invite you to do is completely empty yourself of that for the entire weekend. And you might feel it start to crop up again. Well, am I doing it right? Is Damon gonna give me some feedback that says, I'm not doing it right? Or just completely empty yourself of that. And that's how you're gonna get the most out of this. And also to be playful about what you're learning here. Some of you are also coming in with NLP training already. In fact, actually, I think all of you are. You have a little bit, okay. Francis, you've had lots of NLP training. Rusty, you've had NLP training, so have you, Dan. And then James has gotten it just because he's around me enough to receive it. Drop all that too. And when I took on this training, when I decided I wanted to do this, I didn't go and seek out the material of people whose courses I've already taken. And at first, actually, that's what I attempted to do. And then I got a roadblock, and then they came back and said, yeah, you can go ahead and use it. But by that time, I had already moved on. And I specifically decided to do the material that Steve and Connie Ray Andreas created because of how meticulous they are and how chunked down it would be, and that it would be a long training. And I think this is really the only way to really do a practitioner training. The other reason I did it is because I knew it was going to be different than anything I had done before. And if I was going to learn something, it needed to be different. It couldn't be the same thing that I had already learned from another course or another training. What this means, or what I'm getting at, is that it's in the differences of things. I knew early on, it was an instinct of mine that I knew that I wasn't going to get everything from one NLP teacher. I knew I wasn't going to get everything from two NLP teachers. I knew I needed to go and visit a lot of NLP teachers to give more dimension to my understanding and my learning of NLP. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to realize there also needs to be other disciplines. I need to learn other things outside of NLP. And that is an evolution of my learning NLP. That's where it's taken me. So when you're learning this stuff, I notice a lot of people put an enormous amount of pressure on themselves to do it. And so that fits with wanting to be a good student. This is a program that was probably created in you when you were a student. But there's also this idea of, well, when I know NLP, then I will be able to do X, Y, Z. I know I carried that around for myself for a very long time. And so I want you to let go of that too, because you already have all this potential in you. NLP is going to help shine a light on that. It's going to help you develop that potential. But life doesn't stop until you learn NLP and then get good at NLP, and then you can have all the things that you want. Now, you can have it all right now, and NLP even teaches that it's already in you. And that was a focus where I started last module, was that if I can project onto any object or any intangible thing like a relationship or an idea or a concept, and I project onto that, once I have that, then I will be fulfilled. I'm projecting that state onto that thing, and if I'm projecting it, that means I already have it in me. I don't have to wait to get that thing to experience that state and be fulfilled. And so that's the same thing we're doing here. It's not when you learn NLP. This is just a new discipline for some people, or for some people it's a refresh of a discipline among many disciplines that is going to give you multiple perspectives, which will give you a lot of skills and ultimately will be fulfilling because you'll be growing and you'll be actualizing your potential. On website nlp-gym.com. Follow me on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops and events that I'm hosting. If you would like free NLP training, at the website you will find a place to enter your email. You'll get a 30-day free online training. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave a comment or a question. I will get back to you. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications when I put new videos out. Take care.